Chauvin was elected to have that moment of silence. We had maybe 10 seconds or so.
Wait, let me go back.
And the body was elected to have that moment of silence. We had maybe 10 seconds or so. There are a lot of people, I think, that believe that Derek Chauvin was improperly convicted and not treated well. And those people wanted to have a moment of silence and recognition because they felt that way.
Do you agree with them?
Well, I don't think I'm going to comment on that. I mean, the court system had its verdict, and I'm not going to challenge the court.
Did you like the fact that a convicted murderer had a moment of silence at your convention?
I don't think I could comment on that.
Why not?
Well, because it indicates whether I do or don't agree with something that came out of the court. So I think I'll just let that pass.
Fuck you, Governor of Rapists. Fuck you, Governor of Pedophile. Fuck you. You would rather have David Chauvin, the murderer of George Floyd, have a standing ovation and clap and be like, yay, David Chauvin, yay, than rather arrest him. White supremacy, ladies and gentlemen, and this is who Damien voted for, by the way. And Sped Noodles in her silence, as well as Luna in her, well, no, not Luna. Sped Noodles and Kitty Paquita voted for this in their silence. They voted for the death of George Floyd. And mind you, Kitty Paquita is Christian, right? I'm a goyim. I'm a Christian. I believe it. Really? So God allows pedophiles to roam the streets? So God allows George Floyd to be murdered by a white man? Really? Fuck you, sir. Fuck you. You're from Minneapolis, correct? Please, sir, resign. Resign from your title as governor, please. This is what the government of rape wants. A standing ovation for David Chauvin, the murderer of George Floyd. Democracy has fallen, ladies and gentlemen, and it's been fallen. Kitty Paquita and Sped Noodles, through their silence, wanted this. It's not that they couldn't vote. It's not that they were ineligible. It's not about the economy. It's not about the price of gas or eggs. Complicity. Complicity. So, mind you, to those of you are wondering, why is he talking about the David Chauvin? Like, why is he talking about David Chauvin? You want to know why? 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 This is what Kitty Paquita and Sped Noodles, through their silence, voted for. This is what they voted for. No, shut up, Supergirl. We don't want to watch your shit. Okay? It's AI. Okay? Let's pay attention. My problem. It's just my problem. Fuck you, Minnesota. The governor of Minnesota. Fuck you. You would rather vote for Trump and say, that's just not my problem, and watch David Chauvin literally put his knee on George Floyd's neck than rather arrest him. White America, ladies and gentlemen. White America. And I said this, and I decreed this. By the power of God, if Donald Trump wins the midterms, he's going to make every state that has a white male governor be legal for rape. They're not governments of power no more. They're governments of rape. So to the mayor of Minnesota, you. You. For allowing George Floyd for his death to be in vain by celebrating a white officer, mind you, a white officer who put his knee on George Floyd, a black person's neck. Fuck you. You have no right to be called a governor, nor a mayor of Minnesota. Please resign. You voted for a fucking convicted felon who rapes women, who calls women fat and piggy, who told a news reporter, "Silence, piggy." You voted for this. Don't say you didn't, because your silence did. 77 million people, including Sped Noodles, Petey Petita, as well as Dark Wolf Gamer, through their silence, voted for this shit. The execution of 5 black men. You also voted for Charlie Kirk, a racist podcaster, to say that dead Americans are worth the cost of the Second Amendment because it is a God-given right. Did God write the Second Amendment? No. 21-year-old slave-owning founding fathers did. It is an irrefutable fact. You, sir, you, mayor of Minnesota, you, sir, are an adjudicated rapist. You voted for the adjudicated rapist, which means you yourself is an adjudicated rapist. And that is an irrefutable fact. I don't want to hear no arguments. I don't want to hear no debates. The mayor is an adjudicated rapist, just like Trump is an adjudicated rapist. This is why we are here as a country. Not my problem. That song has been played in the voting booth when 77 million people voted for Trump. When it came to the case of Donald Trump versus E. Jean Carroll, you want to know what they said? That's not my problem. Yes, the fuck it is your problem. You just didn't want to talk about it on your YouTube pages. You didn't want to talk about, Kitty Paquita didn't want to talk about the fact that Donald Trump raped E. Jean Carroll on her page. Sped Noodles didn't even want to talk about how Donald Trump owed $80 trillion to the debt on Sped Noodles' page. This is why we are here.
My problem, just my problem, my problem.
That's why we are here. That is not my problem. Again, oh, Alex Purdy got shot? Nothing to see here. I can't post that on my page. I don't want my friends to get upset. And that's the reason why we're here. Donald Trump didn't run on the economy. He ran on white supremacy. David Chauvin, a white supremacist, put his knee on George Floyd's neck. And he did not give 2 fucks. Because he is a white supremacist. This is what Donald Trump wants during his 3rd presidency. White America, white Africa, white Canada, white China, white Korea, white everything. White, 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 white. Nothing about the blacks, nothing about the Puerto Ricans, nothing about the Somalians, nothing about the freaking Chinese. White. And that's why we're here. Democracy in America has fallen because too many of these fake predator catchers don't want to talk about Trump raping E. Jean Carroll on their pages because they don't want to get their hands dirty. They don't want to make their fan base look bad. Katie Paquita, Sped Noodles, through their silence, voted for this shit. They didn't care if Eugene Carroll got raped. Even if they weren't born at the time, they still would have had a voice to speak up about it, even during the Black Death, even during the Black Plague, where millions of people died. Not a single damn word for their parents. Not a single damn word from their parents. Not a single one. Not a single one. Because they rather watch humanity die than rather care about another person rather than themselves. And that's why we're here. Love thy neighbor as thyself. But when a child is born, you don't give a shit about it. Right, Mayor of Minnesota? Once a child is in school, you don't give a fuck if it's murdered. You don't give a fuck if it's on the fucking floor with a police officer putting his knee on your child's neck. You don't give a fuck. Because that's just what it is. White supremacy. 77 million people went to the crossroads. I'm not calling it the fucking voting booth, and played this song on the air. That's not my problem. When they voted for Trump, they said about the 14 million million kids going to school hungry. They said that wasn't their problem. They voted for Trump because it wasn't their problem that 14 million kids go to school hungry. They voted for Trump because it wasn't their problem that Donald Trump raped E. Jean Carroll, a 13-year-old. And they don't want to talk about that on their fucking pages. Kitty Paquita and Sped Noodles even said, oh, can we not talk about politics in our server? Because we don't want to make our fan base look bad. We can't do that. And that's why we're here. Because these evangelical Christians who claim to know God, by the way, who claim to know God, but yet does not know Mark chapter 9, verse 42. But yet does not know Leviticus chapter 19, verse 33. And that's why we're here. That's why we're here. Trump has violated a lot of sins. Let me tell you which sins he violated. Galatians 6:7. Thou shalt not be deceived, for the Lord shall not be mocked. What did he say on the news? I am the chosen one, ordained by God. Claiming that he's Jesus Christ. What about Leviticus chapter 19, verse 33? Discrimination against immigrants. He said, oh, the brown people are taking the whites' jobs. That's what Charlie Kirk said. Donald Trump even violated Mark chapter 9, verse 42. For whosoever defiles these little ones who believe in me to sin, it would be better for him if a great millstone were hung about his neck and he was thrown into the sea. He violated more Bible scriptures than he could violate his own rights. He's not a Christian. And you're not a Christian. You're just modern day Pharisees. You don't love God. You play God. If you love God, that means you love Satan too, right? Because Satan and God, you have a lot in common more with Satan than you have with God. Both of you, Kitty Paquita and Jesus, no, not Jesus. You, Kitty Paquita, and Satan both believe in God, yet neither one of you follow him. Faith without works is dead. What am I called to do? Not only to spread the gospel, but also to spread the darkness that is in this world, to expose it. Ephesians 5:11. Have nothing with the works of iniquity, but rather expose them. You just want the first part. Have nothing, which means don't get involved in their drama, but expose them. You don't want to get involved with Donald Trump raping Eugene Carroll, but you want to expose it like you're Dexter's from Dexter's Laboratory behind the camera. A Yuji Itadori cosplayer is more Christian than you. Because he would rather get his hands dirty and beat up the ever-living shit out of these fucking predators. Because he actually is pro-life. He cares about that one child that is left to rot in a fucking prison. He cares about that fucking child. You just want the hero to get arrested, but the child predator to walk scot-free. That's what you voted for in your silence. So don't give me that crap. Talk about some, oh, I'm a Christian. I believe. Okay, that means Satan believes in God. You say that there is one God. Good. Demons believe in God. Faith without works is dead. So I'm going to play the whole thing again. The whole thing of what the mayor of Minnesota said, just to give you an insight as to why we are here as a country. Okay? Just to give you an insight. Just to give you an insight.
Rasa?
Shut up, YouTube advertisements. Hey, Megan Fox, you're good. Okay? But I don't want to hear it. But anyways.
It happened.
I want you to listen to what the mayor of Minnesota said, okay? You Minnesotans out there, this is the guy that supports Donald Trump raping children. Listen.
And the body elected to have that moment of silence. We got maybe 10 seconds or so. There are a lot of people.
Alex Plekash or Pleshash. Alex Pleshash. Fuck you. Listen.
And the body elected to have that moment of silence. We got maybe 10 seconds or so. There are a lot of people, I think, that believe that Derek Chauvin was improperly convicted and not treated well. And those people wanted to have a moment of silence and recognition because they felt that way.
No, those people don't want to have a moment of silence or recognition. Those people want to sit by and watch George Floyd get seated on his ass with the knee towards his neck. That's what they want. This is why we are here as a country. Because of people in the Republican Party like him. Fuck you, Chairman Alex Pleshash. Katie Paquita and Spend Noodles, through their silence, voted for this shit. Because they don't want to get their hands dirty and beat up child molesters, just like a Yuji Itadori cosplayer did in Thailand, Singapore. Oh, can we not talk about politics in our Discord server? Can we not do that in our Discord server? Oh, can we not talk about Trump raping Eugene Carroll in our Discord server? I don't want to make our fan base look bad. I just need more money. And that's why we're also here. They don't want to, respect a black person that was kneed to the neck by a white officer. They want to recognize a white officer and give a standing ovation and say, yes, David Chauvin, yes. Because they're fucking retarded. We are here as a country because of fucking retards that don't give a fuck about saving a child's life. But through their silence, they rather vote for an adjudicated rapist in the White House. It's an irrefutable fact. Donald Trump literally bombed an all-girls school in Iran from the ages from 7 to 11. And Kitty Petita, through her silence, Sped Noodles, through her silence, and Damien, through his white privilege, voted for this shit. It's not that they were ineligible to vote. It's not that they couldn't vote. All I hear is, but Josh, I can't afford to. Okay, that's fine. But just remember, your silence voted for Trump. It's not that you couldn't vote. It's not that you were ineligible to. Your silence voted for Trump. I looked at Kitty Paquita's page. Nothing about Alex Preddy. Nothing about Renee Good. Nothing about the 14 million kids that go to school hungry. This is why I do this. To not only expose the moral rot within the church, which is MAGA, of course, but to also expose fake priests, fake pastors, fake Christians, whoever they are. I expose them. Ephesians 5:11. Have that a read. Because I'd rather get my hands dirty and beat the ever-living shit out of a predator. You know, I saw a predator just last month. And you know what I did? The same thing the Yuji Itadori cosplayer did. I beat his ass. I beat him up. I told him, turn yourself in and don't let me catch you in the streets again. Because I will put you in the guillotine if I was to be president. I will put you in the fucking guillotine and watch your ass get chopped up than rather be hanged around like a display in a museum. And he got scared and ran like a bitch because I beat his ass to the point where he was almost dead or unconscious. That is a predator poacher, not a predator catcher. That is a predator poacher, not a predator catcher. I don't be doing 24 conversations. I don't be making alt accounts or decoys. I don't be making none of that shit. And I talk about politics in Discord servers because I actually give a damn. I lost friends before. I lost Lancelot. I lost Rose. I lost Parker. I lost everybody because I give a damn. I'd rather sacrifice my friendships and be uncomfortable than rather sit in my white privilege. And that's why we're here. I lost Lancelot. I lost Rose. I lost Parker. I lost every single person. Because why? Because I'd rather be uncomfortable. I'd rather speak about politics in Discord servers. I'd rather speak about Alex Preddy in Discord servers. I'd rather do that than rather say shit. Because I actually give a damn. Love thy neighbor as thyself, for you yourselves were born from the mist of Egypt. But you don't care, do you? Oh.
Hi, I'm Kitty Paquita. Can we talk about Donald Trump raping children in our Discord server? Because I don't want my fan base to look bad.
Okay, that's fine. But just remember, your silence wanted this. So while you go on about being a good Christian as you say you are, when a black person doesn't come to help you, just know your silence allowed it to happen. When a black person that is a homeless man pushes you away, just know the reason why, they have reasons why they push you away. Because you didn't give a damn about a homeless man, inviting him in. Let me give you a Bible lesson as to what it said. And this literally refers to what's going to happen on Judgment Day. Okay? Just to give you clairvoyance about what is to come on Judgment Day, let me give you some clairvoyance. Jesus is going to put the sheep on his right hand, which is the hand of favor, and the goats on the left hand, the hand of disappointment. And he will say to the sheep, for you have seen me hungry and gave me food to eat. You have seen me thirsty and gave me water to drink. You have seen me as a homeless man and invited me in to your home. You have seen me naked and you clothed me. You have seen me sick and in prison and you came to me. And then the righteous will say to And then the righteous will say to the king, when have we did all these things? And the king will say to the servants, ain't that so much as you did to these, to the least of these, my brethren? You did it to me. You know what those type of people are? The people that actually give a damn about other people. The people that actually talk about politics in their Discord servers. The people that actually give a fuck about putting hands on a fucking child molester instead of doing decoys and all that other shit. Instead of like actually getting their hands dirty and actually saving children from child molestation. Those are the people who are going to enter into the kingdom of heaven. Because in as so much as they did it, they also did it to Christ. Because he cared. Because they cared. Then he will say to those that are on his left, the hand of disappointment. The people that don't want to talk about Donald Trump raping E. Jean Carroll. The people that don't give a fuck about humanity. The people that voted for an adjudicated rapist in the White House. The people that, that don't want to follow God, but rather follow Satan. Depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire. For you saw me hungry, you left me to starve. You saw me thirsty, you left me to dehydrate. You saw me naked, did not give me clothes to wear. Saw me in prison, did not came to me. Saw me as a homeless man, did not invite me in. And then, those very same people are going to ask the king, when have we did all these things? And Jesus will say to them, in as so much as you did not do to the least of these, my brethren, you did not do it to me. You did not talk about Renee Good in his name. You did not talk about Alex Preddy in his name. You did not talk about David Chauvin putting his knee on George Floyd's neck in his name. So guess what he's going to say? Depart from me, ye cursed of iniquity. And that's what's going to happen on Judgment Day. So Kitty Paquita, Sped Noodles, I dare you to say that you actually had a care in the world for Renee Good. I dare you. And I'm going to be on Judgment Day eating every single popcorn that has a lie in it, and I'm going to eat it. For the Lord laughs at their wickedness. For he sees and knows that their time will come. So y'all can yap it up now about, oh yes, I did talk about Alex Purdy. I did spread awareness. When God comes and he sees that you didn't talk about it in his name, then what you gonna say? Mind you, this is y'all. But God, I own the limbs. I own the limbs. I cared about Alex Purdy. I did what you could, God. I did that, But you never cared. You never loved him as your neighbor. You never treated him as if he was your son. This is why we're here. And it's the truth. So, if anything, when Jesus says, where were you when Alex Purdy got shot? I want you to say the very same thing you said at the voting booth. I want you to say this very word. 3 words, not my problem. Go ahead. Say it. Say it. I want you to tell God that Alex Purdy getting shot and killed was not your problem when you know it fucking was, because that was your neighbor that you left to rot. So, with that being said, I'm going to play this song for the final time. I'm going to play this song for the final time. Hold on. Hold on. No. We are going back. We are going back. No. We are going back. We are going back. Let's play this song one final time. Let's play this song.
Oh, my problem. It's just my problem. Oh, my problem.
So when you go before God, and when He says for you to give an accounting on what you've done on earth, I want you to say that you talked about Alex Purdy. I want you to say that you cared about life. Okay, let's roll with that. Where were you when Alex Purdy got shot? There's nothing on your YouTube page about it. There's nothing on your live streams about it. There's nothing about that on your page. So where were you? Oh, you were hiding in your privilege. Ah, that makes sense. You could go with the goats. And that's what's going to happen. So to the chairman of Minneapolis, Minnesota, fuck you. You allowed the murderer of George Floyd to put his knee on his neck, and yet you want the people to have standing ovations for David Chauvin rather than a black person. That's why we're here as a country. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to let Paul Lance speak the words for me. Don't take my word for it. Don't take my word for it. Take it from the man that I watch on YouTube every day. Listen to what he said.
You agree with them?
Listen to what he says.
Well, I don't think I'm going to comment on that. I mean, the court system had its verdict, and I'm not going to challenge the court.
Did you like the fact that
Wait,
a convicted
hold
murderer
up.
had a moment of silence at your convention?
I don't think I could comment on that.
Why not?
Well, because it indicates whether I do or don't agree with something that came out of the court. So I think I'll just let that pass.
Listen to what Paul Lance says about the chairman of Minneapolis, Minnesota. Don't take my word for it. Take it from him.
Fuck you, sir. This was a Klan rally held by the Republican Party because that's what it is. Let's just stop calling it a political party. It's not. It is a party of white supremacy. Derek Chauvin is a piece of human trash. He put his knee on the neck of George Floyd with his hands in his pockets and suffocated him minute after minute after minute after minute. He murdered him over an alleged $10 bill. And 3 officers stood by and watched it happen. And these little white trash MAGA with their white hoods want to have a moment of silence because he was mistreated. Oh yeah, the poor white man. They've been mistreated since 1619 when they were brought over on slave ships. Oh wait, that was black people. See, this is the white victim blaming. January 6th, white men beat police officers. They're patriots, yeah. When a white man rapes women and lies about an election as a 34-count felon, yeah, he's manly, yeah, vote for him. When an alcoholic cheats on his wife and pays a woman $50,000 for sexually assaulting, make him the Secretary of Defense because he's a white man. But when a black man takes a knee on the football field and peacefully protests using his First Amendment right, he's a son of a bitch. How dare you? The horrors of this country. This is what it's about. You're going to see more and more and more of these little white trash MAGA because that's what they are. They are white trash, modern day KKK. They are human trash. And they will do everything in their powers to be the white victim because they have low self-esteem. You want to know why they're like this? This is why. Most Confederate states, the Alabama, the Mississippis from the Confederacy, they're last in education because they're stupid, right? They're racists. And that is supreme on their chart. So they want to own the libs and own the black people and own the immigrants and the brown people and the Somalians and the Muslims and everybody that's not white, right? So they actually don't pass any policies. So what they do is they vote for a white supremacist to be in there. I think it was Mississippi or Alabama. They've had like 3 black congressmen in over 100 years. 3. Yeah, tell me you're a white supremacist without telling me. So what they do is that they vote for the white man. Own the libs, blame the immigrants. And then they get tax breaks to the rich people. Then the rich people give donations back to the Republicans. Next election comes up. It's not your fault that you have 6 teeth and you date your sister and you can't afford groceries. It's the immigrants, it's the brown people, it's the libtards, it's the radical left, it's woke, it's the transgenders, it's 48 genders. Oh, it's the men going into women's bathrooms. Oh, okay, it's their fault. We blame them. And they do this year after year after year after decade after decade, midterm after midterm, primary after primary. And nothing gets done. So they go back to being the victim. Who can I blame for my shitty life? They don't want to look in the mirror and blame the mirror and say, oh, that's me. They don't want to do that. They want to blame the mirror. They want to blame somebody else for their shitty life. Schadenfreude, people that enjoy the suffering of others. That's what this is. They want to blame poor white Derek Chauvin that put his knee on his neck in a court of law by a jury of his peers with evidence the entire world saw. Millions and millions and millions of people protested for it. And what do white people focus on, especially on the right? These white trash, make America white again. Oh, the summer of love. Look at all the crime. 7%. 7% of the protests turn violent. But not one of you give a shit about George Floyd, did you? The black man that was murdered. But you had no problem with January 6th, literally an insurrection. But when black people protested, when Martin Luther King was thrown in solitary confinement many, many times, when he had attempts on his life, when they put bombs on his porch, white Christians, he never turned to violence. When Rosa Parks was arrested, she never went to violence. Claudette Colvin in 1955 sat on a bus as a 15-year-old black woman, never went to violence. John Lewis almost beat to death by cops just for wanting to vote, never turned to violence. Colin Kaepernick never turned to violence. But white people lose an election because they don't like the results. Oh my gosh, the world's coming to an end. Let's beat police officers. Let's put up a noose and threaten to murder the president. Let's crap on Nancy Pelosi's desk. Let's tase officers in the neck, beat them with fire extinguishers, beat them with Confederate flags and American flags. 4 are going to take their own lives. 1 dies the next day, but they're patriots because they're fought for America. America, yeehaw, because we're dumbasses. And this is the shit you get. Because they don't care if America is better. They're voting against people that they hate because that's what they're full of, is hate and bigotry and white supremacy. And you're seeing the same crap right now. How many MAGA are literally terrified of a rainbow flag? It's indoctrination. You people voted for a man that rapes women and defends child molesters. Fuck off with your bullshit. I'm so sick of this. And I'm sick of the media. And I'm sick of the damn Democrats not pushing back on this crap. I'm sick of it.
Fake predator catchers, Kitty Paquita, and spend noodles. This is what you get when your silence voted for Trump. That's what you get. That's what you get. That's what you get. So don't sit there and act all macho honcho when you know in your silence you wanted violence. Excuse me. You wanted more guns than rather Leviticus chapter 19, verse 33. You wanted more respect for guns than rather more respect for the homeless men. You wanted more respect for guns than rather more respect for the Somalians entering our country. You wanted more respect for guns than rather more respect for the Puerto Ricans entering our country. And that's what this is. Your vote in your silence voted for white supremacy. And that's why we're here. 77 million people, including Kitty Paquita and Sped Noodles and the mayor of Minneapolis, the chairman of Minneapolis, as well as Damien, aka Miguel Miranda, through their silence and their white privilege, voted for this shit. They don't care. They don't care if a black person is down on the floor. They will sit around and celebrate it. There was a video of where ICE shot Alex Preddy in the fucking head, and one of the ICE members, who was white, by the way, clapped. Yeah! Alex Preddy is dead! Yeah! Because they are white. Don't take my word for it. Take it from the man that literally is calling out the atrocities of Donald J. Trump. This is why me, Paul, and Schlepp do this because we are real men of faith. We would rather beat and give belt to ass these child predators than rather make decoys and scandalous YouTube videos with their, signs and all that shit because we actually give a damn. Paul is exposing the atrocities of Donald J. Trump by Ephesians 5:11. Have nothing with the works of iniquity, but rather expose them. But you know what white MAGA Christians want? They want the first part. Have nothing with Trump raping Eugene Carroll. Have nothing with Trump owning $8 trillion to the debt. Have nothing with Alex Preddy getting shot. And that's why we're here. Because of these fake predator catchers and people like Damien and Kitty Paquita and Spectacles and the mayor of Minneapolis. These people support the government of rapists because in their silence and in their privilege, they would rather watch democracy burn to the ground than rather raise it up in heaven where moth and rust can't get to them. It is easier for Lazarus to go through an eye of a needle than it is for the rich man to enter into the kingdom of heaven. Because why? Because of white supremacy. That's it. And until somebody wakes up both in their souls and in their bodies, ain't nothing gonna change. Kitty Paquita, Sped Noodles, and everybody else would rather ignore what's in their souls, but listen to what's in their bodies. Mind you, we are all created in the image of God. Mark chapter 9, verse 42 literally tells about pedophilia and how much hate Jesus has for them. Give that a read. I'm pretty sure you wouldn't, because you don't care, because you say you're pro-life, right? You don't care. You don't care if Donald Trump rapes Eugene Carroll. You don't want to talk about that in your Discord servers. You don't want to talk about that, right? You don't want to talk about how Alex Preddy was shot by a white person, because you're pro-life, right? Stop with the shit. This is why we're here. And until somebody has this conversation, ain't nothing gonna change. Nothing. Not a single ounce. Not a single plip. Not a single blood gonna change. Unless someone has a conversation about white supremacy, ain't nothing gonna change. So with that being said, until everybody gets the idea that, white supremacy is the reason why we're here, because of a authoritarian dictatorship, aka Donald J. Trump, who wants to be dictator and wants to be a king of the world, right? I'm going to blast the song Not My Problem. And I'm going to keep playing it because it's not my problem that MAGA didn't vote for the white man, I'm going to play that song because why? Because I'm going to do, mind you, it says, do unto others as he will want them to do unto you. MAGA played that song and never gave a shit about Eugene Carroll getting raped by Donald J. Trump. So I'm going to play that song and not give a fuck about white people voting for the same president who's going to be the Antichrist. Mind you, the same people that voted for Trump, whether in their silence or in their privilege, is going to be the same people that's going to vote for the Antichrist. That's what this is. I've looked at the signs. If I get taken up because I'm doing what Jesus would want me to do, which is to expose the entirety of the world in a nutshell, and if y'all don't hear from me, just know you voted for the Antichrist. You followed the Antichrist. I'm not going to be here when the Great Tribulation happens. I'm going to be with Christ for all eternity because, unlike you, I give a damn about what Jesus did for me on the cross. He took my sins and everyone else's and placed it on the cross. But you don't give a damn, do you? You say you're Christian, but you don't. You're not. You're just modern day Pharisees. Jesus said for us to love thy neighbor as thyself, but you don't give a damn about the love thy neighbor part. You just want to love yourself. And that's the issue of this country. Pride. Pride goeth before the fall. Happy Pride Month. Happy Satan's birthday. Which, by the way, in case you didn't know, Pride Month is actually the birthday of Satan's fall. It's true. Pride Month is the day where Satan fell from the sky and landed into the earth. So, the fact that you're celebrating Pride Month also means you're celebrating the day Satan fell from the sky. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, have yourselves a white day and keep doing what you're doing in your white privilege. Watch what happens when democracy falls, and watch what happens when I'm not here for it. When I'm not here for the Antichrist to issue his mark, when I'm up in the sky celebrating with others who actually give a damn about not just the country, but about the people. While I'm up there celebrating with them, you can stay behind and watch the whole world burn because you don't give a shit about people. You just give a shit about yourself. Have nothing with the works of iniquity, but rather expose them. But you rather work on the first part, not the whole thing. So with that being said, a Yuji Itadori cosplayer is more Christian than any of you. And the most selfish and most prickest thing to say to a person is, are you better off than you were 4 years ago? I know Kitty Paquita said that in her silence. She said, screw everybody else. Screw me being a Christian. I'd rather be an evangelical Christian and vote for the white supremacists and vote for the racist podcaster that said that the whites, the whites are the blacks are taking the whites' jobs. So you keep doing that. Watch on Judgment Day. I am telling you, it is going to be a field day. God is going to have a field day with y'all. He is going to have a field day. He is going to laugh at every one of your wickedness. He's going to laugh. Why do the nations rage and they all plot a vain thing? He who sits in heaven shall laugh, and he shall have them in derision. Give Psalms 2 a read. Give Psalms 1 verse 1. I applied that every day of my life. Blessed is the man that walks not into the counsel of the ungodly, nor stands in the way of sinners, nor seats themselves in the midst of the scornful. For in delight is in the law of the Lord, and in that law he meditates day and night. What do I do every night before I go to bed? I hug the Bible close. Because why? Because I give a damn about what Jesus did for me and what I do for him. I give a damn. Why is it that every night I say, God, I leave everything to you? Because I give a damn for what he does for me, as what I would do to him, as what I would do for him. I would call out the atrocities of this damn planet in Jesus' name. I'd rather do that and spread the gospel also. Because why? Because Jesus would want his name to be recognized, not as a prize to be won, but as someone that cares for every person. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. Buddha can't save you because they don't heal like Jesus heals. They can't provide like Jesus provides. Vishnu can't save you because Vishnu can't provide the way Jesus provides. Vishnu can't heal the way Jesus heals. Vishnu doesn't have the Holy Spirit. Jesus does. Vishnu didn't create the planet. God did. And that's why we're here. So unless this country has that damn conversation about white supremacy, ain't nothing gonna change. So you can keep telling yourself, I don't want to talk about politics in my Discord server because I don't want to make my fan base look bad. I keep telling yourself that you own the libs. And when Judgment Day comes, it's gonna be a whole field day. It's gonna be a field day. It's gonna be a field day. It's going to be where God is going to literally see everything that you've done from birth to now. And if you never mention anything about your neighbors, God is going to say, I told you. The greatest commandment of all is to trust the Lord with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your soul. I trust the Lord more than just these three things. I trust the Lord with all my heart, with all my soul, with all my body, with all my strength, and with all my spirit. 5 things, actually. Because why? Because I give a damn about what he did for me. So I would give a damn of what I do for him because I care. But, you know, you're pro-life, right? Because you don't care if a child gets murdered. You don't care if you don't care because you don't want to talk about politics in your Discord servers. And that's why we're here. So until a single person has this damn conversation, ain't nothing gonna change. You could keep being the white victim. You could keep allowing yourself to vote for the Antichrist and align yourself with the Antichrist because, you know, that's what you want. You want white America. You want white America, white New Jersey, white New York, white Florida, white Nevada, white Kentucky, white Kansas, white Tennessee, white. And until then, have yourselves a white day.